Something happened during the filming of season 6 that absolutely no one saw coming. Not the cast, not the crew, and not even the director, who usually anticipates every possible problem on set. What unfolded was so unexpected, so personal, and so intense that the production has finally confirmed the truth. This season did not just challenge Jonathan Rumi. It pushed him into the deepest emotional territory he has ever stepped into. And the impact of that moment rippled through the entire set, leaving everyone shaken in a way they had never experienced before. But to understand what really happened, you need to hear about the moment that changed everything. It happened early in filming. A simple scene, nothing complicated, nothing heavy, at least not on paper. Jonathan stepped into position, took a breath, and began to speak his lines. But then something completely unexpected happened. He froze. And not the kind of freeze where an actor forgets a line or stumbles over a sentence. This was different. This was a human being hitting an invisible wall. Jonathan didn't freeze because of the script. He froze because something inside him broke open. The words in front of him stopped feeling like lines. They became too sacred, too heavy, too intimate for him to speak aloud. According to the latest update, Jonathan later explained that he felt something rising up inside him, the exact feeling he had years ago right before a panic attack. His chest tightened, his breathing turned short, his hands began trembling, and in that split second, the reality hit him hard. I don't feel worthy to say these words without causing a scene. Jonathan quietly stepped away from the set. No dramatic movements, no shouting, no complaining. He simply walked over to the director, leaned in, and whispered a sentence so soft yet so heavy that people nearby instantly stopped moving. "Can we slow down? I can't do this right now." It wasn't acting. It wasn't exhaustion. It was a man admitting he had reached his emotional limit. And as shocking as that moment was, it was only the beginning of what season 6 would demand from him. Jonathan has always approached the role of Jesus with a kind of reverence that people on set describe as almost spiritual. He treats the role like sacred ground, careful, intentional, thoughtful. But season 6 isn't sacred ground. It's breaking ground. It's the season where the story descends into betrayal, abandonment, and deep spiritual isolation. And Jonathan felt the weight of that before a single camera even rolled. He said that when he first opened the script, he felt something tighten in his chest. These scenes weren't just dramatic. They were emotional storms, betrayals among friends, painful distance, silent suffering, and the shadow of the crucifixion moving closer with every page. Jonathan described the feeling as watching a storm roll toward him. He could see it, he could feel it, and he knew there was no way to avoid stepping directly into its center. According to today's update, this season marked the first time Jonathan felt like the role didn't just demand his skill, it demanded pieces of his heart he wasn't sure he could give without losing himself. Fans had suspected something was off, but no one had proof until now. The update makes it clear, he wasn't stepping into the role anymore. He felt like he was being pulled into a dot in the very first week. Jonathan experienced moments where he couldn't catch his breath. When the camera cut, he didn't walk around or reset like usual. He stayed where he was, shoulders dropped, head lowered, breathing slowly as if trying to steady a storm inside him. Crew members noticed the shaking in his hands. Not part of the performance, not part of the scene. This was Jonathan struggling in real time. One scene in particular pushed him so far emotionally that he unconsciously walked off set. He didn't storm off. He didn't even seem aware he was moving. He later said it didn't feel like acting, it felt like stepping directly into someone else's pain and suddenly not knowing how to find the way back out. As filming continued, the change in him became harder to ignore. Jonathan grew quiet, more quiet than usual. He sat alone between setups, his head bowed, whispering short, almost desperate prayers under his breath. People noticed his smile fading, his energy dropping. His eyes looked darker, tighter, like he was carrying a weight that grew heavier by the hour. According to the update, Jonathan admitted he had mornings where he woke up with a knot in his chest, long before he arrived on set. He said that on some mornings, he sat at the edge of his bed for several minutes, staring at the floor, whispering to himself, "How am I supposed to do this?" Yet every day, He still got in the car. He still walked onto the set. And he still delivered the performance everyone expected from him, sometimes at the cost of his own peace. But the emotional strain didn't stop when filming ended for the day. There were nights he went home, sat in the dark, and didn't speak a word. No music, no television, no phone, just silence. The weight of the day followed him home like a shadow he couldn't shake. There were nights when the tears came unexpectedly, suddenly, without a clear reason. One night, according to someone close to production, he walked into his home, sat down on the couch, and didn't even take off his costume. He just sat there, still dressed as Jesus, and let the tears fall. Not Jonathan the actor, Jonathan the human being, breaking under the emotional cost of carrying a story so heavy. The cast started worrying. They noticed how he slumped forward after certain scenes, how he breathed heavier, how he moved slower. Extras whispered that he looked thinner, paler, like the emotional burden was physically draining him. And now, the update confirms what many had suspected. Jonathan's emotional struggles started showing up physically. His hands shook more during filming. His breaths were shallow. His body needed longer pauses to recover between scenes. One day, after an especially intense moment, the director called cut, but Jonathan didn't move. He sat there, motionless, head lowered, breathing as if he was fighting off something he couldn't see. That's when people on set began to quietly ask each other the question no one wanted to say out loud. Can he get through this season without something breaking? Season 6 is unlike anything the production has ever done before. And Jonathan is asked to carry the emotional core of it in every scene, sometimes at the cost of his own strength. Recently, he shared something that explains everything better than any rumor or report. I feel like I'm carrying something I'm not strong enough to carry, but I know I have to keep going. This season isn't just testing him, it's changing him. Every scene pushes deeper into the emotional darkness, leading toward the final chapters of the story. Each moment comes with a heavier cost. And with every new update, one question becomes harder to ignore. How far will this season push him? How much more can he give before something inside him reaches its limit? One thing is certain. Season 6 is demanding more from Jonathan than any season before it. It is forcing him to walk through emotional territory that feels real, raw, and painfully human. And for the first time, those around him aren't just watching an actor step into a role. They're watching a person wrestle with something bigger than performance. And no matter how strong he is, or how committed he is to the story, this season may be the one that tests him in ways no script has ever tested him before. And the world is about to see why.